Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your favorite segment of the week. It is the Two-Tone Top 5, where I pick a category, give you my top 5 in that category, based on my opinion, of course, and then you tell me how wrong I am in the comments. Today, I am looking at the top 5 teams that I believe can actually win the Super Bowl this upcoming season. Not just make playoffs, not just make a run in the playoffs, but that can actually be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in February at the end of the season. This team right here, the logo on the screen, that's my Titans. I love them with all my heart. They are not one of the 5 teams. I just have their logo there because I got to represent. The Titans are, unfortunately, barring a miracle, I don't think the Titans would be on anybody's list as the top 5 teams that can win the Super Bowl this year. But miracles happen, folks. You got to believe sometimes. These are my top 5 teams that I believe can actually win the Super Bowl this year. Some of them you might agree with. Some of them you probably expect, and some of them you're going to maybe think I'm nuts. At number 5, I think some people might have this team a little higher. It's the Buffalo Bills. I think as long as Josh Allen is there, they've got a shot because I think he's that great. But at this point, I'm starting to wonder if it's meant to be, because the Bills, year after year, cannot seem to get over the hump. And let's just call the hump what it is. The hump is the Kansas City Chiefs. They can't beat them. They are allergic to beating them in the playoffs, at least. But they also kind of have a hard time beating the Bengals, too, because they lost to the Bengals in the playoffs years ago. They can beat the Ravens. They know how to beat the Ravens in the playoffs. But they cannot get over that last little AFC hump. As long as Josh Allen is there, I think they've got a shot. I think they're going to win a heck of a lot of games. I still think they're going to run that division, despite the fact that almighty Vrabel is in AFC East, and that's supposed to mean something. But I think the Bills are still a top 5 Super Bowl favorite for me, but I am starting to wonder. The only reason they're not higher on this list, is it meant to be? Can they finish the deal? I don't know. We'll see. But I've got the Bills at number 5. At number 4, some of you might disagree with this one, but I've got the LA Rams. I think they've got a better shot than the Bills. I think people forget a couple of things. Number 1, the Rams just won a Super Bowl years ago, and they still have the same head coach. They still have the same quarterback. I know there's no more Cooper Kupp. There's no more Aaron Donald. That makes a difference. But look at their recent history. Who got closest to beating the Eagles in the playoffs last year? The Rams. They were right there. In the snow, they were right there. They play in L.A. You would think they're not used to playing in the snow, but they almost beat the Eagles in the snow. I'm a big believer in Stafford. I think Stafford's got a couple of really good years left. I'm a big believer in Sean McVay. The Rams are always good. They always have a good defense. Puka Nacua is a monster. I just feel like and especially when you look at their division, I think they're way better than Arizona. I think Seattle will be stout, but I think the Rams are a good bit better than Seattle. And at this point, I think they're a good bit better than San Francisco too. I like the Rams as a Super Bowl contender. They're boring. People don't like to talk about them, but I like the Rams a lot. So I've got them at number 4. At number 3, here's your shocked face, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I think if there's anything surprising about this, I think most people would probably have the Chiefs even higher. I think most people would probably have the Chiefs at number 1. They could very well be the team that wins it all, obviously. As long as number 15 is taking snaps, they could be the team that wins it all. But I will say the only reason they're not higher at number 2 or number 1, I do think their division could be a little tougher than it's been. I say that. They'll probably win it by 6 games. But Denver, you would think, will be better. The Raiders could be sneaky. The Chargers are always tough. That could cause them some trouble, maybe keep them from being the number 1 seed in the AFC. That happened a couple of years ago, and it didn't matter because they went on to win the Super Bowl anyway. But Travis Kelce's older. The Chiefs never have just the best weapons on the outside because they never really need them because Patrick Mahomes is so awesome. But I don't know. I could see, we say this every year. I feel like I'm jinxing it. I could see the Chiefs maybe not being as good as they normally are. But I hate to even say it because how many times have we said that in the past, and then they're the ones at least representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. I should probably have them higher. Number 2, I own the Baltimore Ravens, and I know having the Ravens ahead of the Chiefs is going to have Chiefs fans' heads exploding, but you win the Super Bowl every year. I think you can handle a YouTuber not having you number one. I don't want the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. I don't want that anyway, but I don't think I can handle watching A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry win the Super Bowl in back-to-back years. I don't think my heart can handle it. But I think the Ravens have a shot. I think that Lamar needs to play better in the playoffs, yes. But, I mean, they were within a Mark Andrews insane drop last year of being right there, punching their ticket to go play the Chiefs in the AFC title game, which they did the year before and wet the bed. But if Derek is doing what he's done for them last year, and the draft that they had, their defense looks like it is going to be stout. I mean, listen, I don't want it to happen, but I think it could happen. I think the Ravens could be the team at the end of the day. I would rather the Chiefs, honestly. If you want to know how bad I hate the Ravens, I would rather watch the Chiefs win another one than to watch the Ravens win one. I love you, Derek, but I can't do it. Number one, speaking of former players, I know this is obvious, but I got the Eagles at number one. I know it's obvious. Do you go with the team that won it last year, say they could do it again? But I really believe, I'm not just putting them here because they won the Super Bowl last year, but I mean, they've pretty much got most everybody back. Their cast of weapons, it just is unbelievable. Saquon is not human. AJ, I just had PTSD of that fateful night we traded him. Devontae Smith, I mean, Jalen Hurts with that offensive line, their defense, their pass rush, there is no weakness on the Eagles team. It's not just because they won the Super Bowl last year, but it's because then they come back this year and they get a steal in the first round again. There's no weakness on this Eagles team, and there's no reason to not have them number one on this list. Now, as far as teams that got left off that you're probably sitting there going, well, what about this team or that team? First of all, I bet there's three teams coming to mind. Number one, the Washington Commanders. I love Washington. I love Jaden Daniels. I don't want to say I don't love anybody but the Titans, but I like the Washington Commanders, and I like their story from last year. It just feels too good to be true right now to put them in the top five, because it reminds me of C.J. Stroud in Houston 2 years ago. Everybody thought Houston was going to come back and be Super Bowl contenders, and while they were still good, they weren't as good as they were the year before, and they didn't feel like they were really contenders. I hope that doesn't happen to Washington, but they're in a division with Philadelphia, so I'm going to hold off before I just declare Washington as a Super Bowl contender. Detroit. I really like Detroit. I was rooting for Detroit in the playoffs last year. I think the Lions will be very good again. What I fear for the Lions and for Lions fans is that the window is starting to really close. How long can Jared, I mean, he kind of reminds me of Tannehill with the Titans. He's better than Tannehill was with the Titans. But when the clock starts running out, it really starts running fast. I just still feel like the Dan Campbell experiment can't last forever. So I was just hesitant to put the Lions ahead of any of those teams. Who was the other team I was thinking of? Not Steelers. Oh, the Bengals. The Bengals. Some teams mention the Bengals. I think the Bengals' best days are behind them, and I'm a big believer in Burrow. I think Burrow's fantastic. I think when healthy, big win, but when healthy, I think he could be top 3, top 2, sometimes even top 1 in the league. He's just never healthy. Their offensive line's always bad. I just don't get the vibe that this team has the same fire that they did a few years ago when they made all those runs to the Super Bowl. Don't I remember it because they beat the Titans to get there. But I can't put the Bengals ahead of any of these teams. And really nobody else stands out to me as a Super Bowl contender. Don't talk to me about New England. Don't talk to me about Houston. Don't talk to me about Pittsburgh. Don't talk to me about Dallas. These are the 5 teams that I think could actually win a Super Bowl. Buffalo, the Rams, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Eagles. Let me know what you think. Talk to me in the comments. Bye.